Hello, neighbor. Welcome back to part 3 of our 4-part Q&A series for Mary Alice Monroe's The Summer Girls, filmed for the Sound of May Reading Challenge. Once again, we are anchoring our book analysis to the breezy, nostalgic energy of LFO's Summer Girls. Today, we are looking at the women who hold Seabreeze together, specifically the older generation, and examining the boundaries, the faults, and the hidden hierarchies of the household. Our anchor lyric for today is Right Girls, Wrong Time, because Marietta has decided that time is running out for this family and she is willing to use some incredibly tough love to fix their rhythm. Let's jump right into discussion question number 2. Our first question for today asks us to describe Marietta and Lucille's relationship and discuss how these two older women serve as role models to the younger three. I have some really strong thoughts on this one because to me there is a massive disconnect between how this relationship is marketed and how it's actually written. Marietta and Lucille's relationship is presented as long-standing and affectionate, but it is also shaped by a very clear social hierarchy that the novel completely refuses to interrogate. Lucille performs an immense amount of emotional and physical labor, cooking, cleaning, maintaining the Seabreeze estate, and constantly supporting Marietta's emotional needs. While the reading group frames their bond as a complex and important female relationship, the text of the novel itself simply doesn't give Lucille the narrative depth or agency that would justify that claim. Instead, Lucille fits squarely within a very specific, if not tired, Southern literary trope, the loyal housekeeper or the loyal companion. She is the loyal woman who keeps the household running, offers blunt, folksy wisdom when needed, and is treated with fondness, but is never granted a fully realized life or interiority of herself. Her family is only mentioned in passing, and not a single member of the Muir clan ever asks about them or expresses a shred of interest in her beyond the walls of Seabreeze. In fact, think about this. I don't even remember the book ever mentioning Lucille's last name. Did it? Drop a comment if I missed it, but I don't think it does. Meanwhile, the book explicitly gives the last names and family backgrounds of the granddaughters' mothers, all women Marietta actively dislikes and who don't even make a physical appearance in the novel. This makes it incredibly difficult to accept the reading guide's suggestion that Marietta and Lucille function as equal role models. Marietta is fully developed, she's wealthy, opinionated, flawed, and central to the plot. Lucille remains completely underwritten, defined almost entirely by her service to the Muir family. Because Lucille's inner life is never explored, the emotional weight of their friendship rests almost entirely on Marietta's side. Lucille is like family only insofar as she continues to labor for the family. If she wasn't providing that labor, she simply just wouldn't be part of the story. And this exposes a massive tension between the marketing language of the reading guide and the actual narrative economy of the novel. The guide tries to elevate Lucille to co-matriarch status, but the text just doesn't support it. A more fully realized version of Lucille, one with her own desires, conflicts, and agency, could have served as a genuine, powerful intergenerational role model. Instead, she functions primarily as a comforting, stabilizing presence for Marietta and the Summer Girls, completely constrained by class dynamics, and I would also argue race dynamics, but we won't get into that here. And I feel like the novel never really challenges that. That brings us to question 7. What are Marietta's biggest faults in this novel? And why do you think she decided to try tough love with her granddaughters? Let's strip away the cozy grandmother facade and look at Marietta's actual character flaws. Her flaws are distinct and heavy. She meddles constantly. She operates under the assumption that she always knows what's best for everyone else. And she uses guilt as a primary emotional tool to enforce compliance. But why does she choose the tough love route this summer? Why resort to financial blackmail and ultimatums? The text shows us it's because she recognizes that time is running out. She is turning 80 years old and she knows she won't be around forever to act as the family glue. She looks at her granddaughters and realizes that these sisters are so deeply entrenched in their own isolation and trauma that they're never going to repair their fractured relationships on their own without some sort of outside intervention. And so she chooses tough love because it's a necessary shock to the system. She's determined to leave them connected and unified before she passes away, rather than leaving them completely fractured. That is a wrap on part 3. We have one more part left to go in this series, but before we head out, let's close it down with our signature, completely random LFO pop culture lyric drop. So in the great spirit of Summer Girls, let's go with porch swings, historical fiction, lemon water on the deck, and analyzing literary tropes until the sun goes down. What did you think about Lucille's character? Do you agree that the novel leaves her in the shadow of a trope, or do you think the friendship was genuinely equal? And how do you feel about Marietta's meddling? Let's talk about it in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you for our final wrap up in part 4.